Q&A. Fanmail! Lovely. I'm Captain Xavier, and this is Loadout Larry. And his purpose, in addition to perpetuating the myth that I am short, is to help me in my upcoming loadout series. He will be modeling loadouts for me, and who knows what else he'll get up to around here. No good, I'm sure. Still no events, though I'm gonna start hosting events here again finally, and we've finally started a competitive league here in the Pacific Northwest called Waffle, the Washington Foam Flinging League, which I think is a fabulous name to go along with Panic, the Pacific Northwest Nerf Club. We do like our acronyms up here, our clever acronyms. Anyway, first event was a huge success. Silver Fox Industries put that together, made that finally happen. I'm hoping to help out in any way I can. I'm putting together my own set of competitive level cover that I can take to places, and also I plan to start running events here. So big stuff coming here in the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully I'll get to show off some events, and we'll actually really get a league going up here, and because it's something I've been wanting for a while. Let's answer some questions. Michael Nimrod, would you like to see better quality out of Nerf or get the next DZ Pro blasters? I would honestly like to see something out of Nerf. They used to have really good stuff. The Strife and the Long Shot and the Hammer Shot. There were so many good blasters that they came out with. And I would really like to see them develop a Pro Series. I think they're really missing out on a potential huge market, or not huge, but a market, by not embracing the competitive side of the game, the more adult side of the game, the half dart 5v5 competitive stuff, in the way that Worker has and Dart Zone has and the hobby obviously has, and apparently now X-Shot has even started to get into that. So I would like to see what Hasbro could do with that, with all of their mountains of money for research and development. Could they come up with decent stuff, or would it just end up kind of meh? If it was just going to be kind of meh, then I'd rather just let Dart Zone take it. They're doing a really good job. But just because I'd like there to be more options, and I'd like there to be more competition, because that does tend to drive improvement and innovation. I would like to see Nerf up their game a lot. Brian Drake, which hammer primed revolver do you think is better, the Hammer Shot or the Sweet Revenge? Sweet Revenge. As far as I know, that's fairly universally understood. The Sweet Revenge has better performance out of the box. There are a lot more cosmetic kits for the Hammer Shot, if that's what you're looking for. Most of the cylinders that can be swapped into a Hammer Shot will also swap into a Sweet Revenge. The cylinders are hot swappable. So a lot of the radioactive cylinders can work in a Sweet Revenge, assuming you can get the front bar to work, which might not work on some of them. But if it is just a direct cylinder swap, then they will just work in a Sweet Revenge just as well as they work in a Hammer Shot. But it's more ergonomic, it's svelte, they paint up so beautifully. They don't fit in a AA holster as well. They don't fit as tight, they're looser. But then they came with their own holsters. So, but Sweet Revenge in general was the one that I prefer. Zebra Striped YT. Overall, what is the worst Pro Series blaster by any company? I asked for clarification on this, and unfortunately didn't get it before this video got filmed. But the problem with this kind of a question, the problem with asking what is the best or what is the worst, is you have to give metrics. Because how are you defining worst? Worst performance, worst ergonomics, worst aesthetics, worst what? Because there's some where out of the box they're decent, but there's ones where out of the box they're not so good, but they have way more mod potential. Or ones that have great, mod potential, but the ergonomics are just horrific. There's too many variables to be able to say what is the worst. You have to give metrics by which I'm measuring it. If the performance is poor enough, they might not even qualify for Pro, because that's not a defined standard within our hobby. What qualifies as Pro? 150, 170, 200, 250. What point do you become a Pro blaster? So yeah, I really can't give you a concise, this one is the worst, never get it ever, because that's not a thing. Alan Sutherland, what do you think about Jolly Ranchers' other hard candy? I enjoy hard candy. Jolly Ranchers blue and yellow are my favorite. I'm also a huge fan of hard root beer candies, obviously, because I like root beer. So yeah, in general, I like hard candies. Shadow Justin, are you married? Are you planning to ask me out? No, I'm not married. Brandon Keller, you've mentioned in the past that some of the crew played in the SCA. Do they still? Yes. What kingdom do they play in? On tier. Do they attend Pennsic? I don't believe any of them have been to Pennsic, but I know at least one of them really wants to go. Lieutenant Freifrechter really wants to go to Pennsic, and I would love to go to Pennsic. I have family further east that used to, at least they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to regularly go to Pennsic, and back when I was doing medieval stuff, I always wanted to reach out to them and see if I could attend. At the time, I didn't have the money for travel. Now I have the money for travel, but I don't do the medieval stuff anymore. I would like to get back into it. And finally, would they like to stand, or auxiliary, to stand with them? So they don't play in the SCA as crew. They have completely different associations, affiliations, characters. It has nothing to do with the crew. The crew never existed within the SCA as an organization. We were in the realms of Avalon and the Empire of Adria. But reinforcements are reinforcements. I have no doubt they would love to have more, competent soldiers on the field with them. Scorpion 56. What would be your best estimate for the total rate of fire of all of your proton pack blasters combined? Oh. Well, I've got at least like 10 so far, and most of them get at least 15 rounds per second, so at least 150 rounds a second at that point, give or take. That'd be my estimate. Django Rumrunner, what is your main goal when you go thrifting for blasters? To buy blasters for cheap. But I look for anything hammer primed. I'll pretty much take anything hammer primed, whether it's a hammer shot, a sweet revenge, a for victory, most of the Doomlands ones, even some of the Fortnite ones. But pretty much anything hammer primed I never pass up. Some rival I still look out for. I definitely look for things that I don't have. There are still blasters I don't have. Just because I never bothered to grab them for whatever reason. Strifes, I will always grab strifes. There aren't a whole lot that Ravens, I'd probably never pass up a Raven. But at this point I have so many blasters that I don't really look for anything anymore. I just go to show you guys what's in the stores, because you still appear to like that. But I do look for ones that I don't have, and certain ones that I just always, hammer shot, strife, I never pass those ones up. James H45. What music tickles your fancy? I actually have fairly broad taste in music, everything from Tchaikovsky to Rob Zombie. But in general, my favorite are ones that I know how to social dance to. So I really like swing, blues, anything with an 8-count rhythm. So most pop music you can East Coast swing or West Coast swing to. But that's also why I like classic music, because I do know how to waltz and Viennese waltz, and I'm a fan of a lot of Latin music because I know how to rumba, salsa, cha-cha, that's the one I'm looking for. Blues earlier I mentioned, one because East Coast swing, but also foxtrot. Yeah, this always surprises people when they find out that I'm actually a fairly accomplished dancer. It doesn't come up a lot in the Nerf world. But yeah, music I can dance to. GenDoc Innovations. Have you placed your order for custom Xavier rival rounds? I honestly completely forgot about this and haven't followed up. Ping me again with the info because I might be interested. Cordell Piplinski. That's a fabulous name. What sites do you use to find files for 3D printing? So, as you mentioned, I typically use Thingiverse. That's the first place that I will go to. There are a lot of other options, apparently. Generally, if I can't find it on Thingiverse, I probably don't really need it. There are a lot on Etsy if you're willing to pay for them. Like most of the best files, you can't get for free. You do have to pay for them because the people put a lot of R&D into it and they want to get their money's worth out of their time and effort, and prototyping costs. So there's a lot on Etsy, and the files are usually fairly cheap, relatively speaking. And that allows you to print something as many times as you want. You just can't sell it, usually. Sometimes they license you to be able to do that. But if you just Google free STL, there's a whole bunch of different options. There's Cults, there's Free 3D, there's STL Finder, you can find websites of lists of websites of free sources for STL files. So, Google is where I go. And there you go. That's the site I use. Google. Should have just opened with that. And finally, Ben the Wild Child E715. I saved this last one because it's in character and is in fact satire. When I first read it, I was very confused, and then he clarified that this is a character. This is meant to be silly. It's not meant to be serious. So, this is going to be a silly one. So, in character, Captain Xavier. It is good to meet your acquaintance on this online forum you call commenting. I'm building a modded HVZ loadout. My primary is a pump-action long shot. What would you say of these 3 recommendations is a good master key? A minimized Nitron, a single-shot Nemesis, or a proton pack-fed Proton? So here's the truth, and I'm going to give it to you. You're going to need all 3. You need the variety. The Nitron, if you get your 40-round drum on there, you can now just put out a cloud of slow-moving foam discs, and there's just no dodging that. Getting the ammo can be a bit tricky, but if you can find a source for it, there is nothing harder to dodge than a cloud of vortex rounds. The single-shot Nemesis, I mean, you gotta have the absurd amount of firepower that tells your enemy this person is not to be messed with. They singled a Nemesis. This is a madman, and this is not someone I want to deal with. The psychological warfare right there, very, very important. And a proton pack-fed Proton. Now the Proton normally is a vortex blaster, so they're not going to see it coming when an absolute stream of foam comes out of it. And as Napoleon would tell you, when in doubt, confuse your enemy. Hit the steer. Close enough. All right, I have 2 package and a letter. We will start with the letter. Actually, this one's long enough. You know what? We'll get to this after these potential messages. Gotta keep the lights on somehow. All right, we're gonna take a look at this letter. A note. Dear Captain, you are my favorite Nerf content creator. I have a question. I want a blaster that looks like a Barrett M82 and at least hits 200 FPS. Is the Caliburn B variant by Foamedemic a good option? From my Nerf channel, Blaze Trooper. So I don't actually know anything about the Caliburn B variant. If it has the aesthetics that you're looking for, any kind of Caliburn, you can get up to those numbers and well beyond. If you want something that looks like it, really looks like a Barrett, the best option that I can think of is probably going to be the Worker Prophecy with the Barrett kit. In fact, let me go grab mine real quick and I can show it off. So, ignoring the fact that it's painted all black because I was an idiot when I painted this, it's got the muzzle there you're looking for. It's got that style of stock. Mine has a very nice bipod, and then I usually have the bolt-on priming handle, but it got used for something else. So aesthetically, this, and I'm pretty sure with the right kit, this thing can hit in the 200 range. I don't remember what I got this one up to, but I didn't try to go too far. So that would be a perfectly good option. Alternatively, probably the B variant Caliburn. Probably perfectly, I'm not in frame at all. Perfectly good option. I'll have to look up your channel. What? Not sure what all the... He's got my logo, my channel logo on there, and I assume this is his channel logo, which looks pretty neat. So, Blaze Trooper. I'll have to check him out. Alright. I've got a small package here that I think I know what it is. It's almost certainly something I'm supposed to review. I think they have finally sent me all of the parts necessary. It's been a journey. Sure enough, it's the relink. Okay, so this is for a security system, which I've been wanting to upgrade mine for a while now. First, they sent me the camera, but it turns out the camera won't work if you don't have the receiver. So they sent me the receiver, but it turns out that won't work if you don't have the switch. And now I have the switch. So hypothetically, I should now have all of the parts necessary to set up a new home security system. So when soon I will do my best to find the time to actually go through all of that and actually get it all set up. And if it works well, what I want to try to use it for, and I don't know how viable this would be, we would see, would be to set it up, rather than as a security system, set it up as a camera system in the arena. Get a bunch of these cameras all set up and have them all recording, and that way, well, it would make it really easy to film footage for my arena. So we will see how that works out. If that doesn't work out, I would just like to have a better security system than I currently have. So we will see. Stay tuned for that. All right, we now have a large package from a Dan Buddha. Buddha? I don't know. It's large. And I have absolutely no idea what's in it. I probably should. It's entirely possible that this was mentioned. You are of no use whatsoever, are you? You're just in the way. All right. Good Lord. Oh God. Thank goodness there's a note, because there's too much going on in here to not have a note. Lord have mercy. Dear Captain Xavier, I'm sending you this care package as a big thank you for being the content creator that is most responsible for reigniting my passion for all things that fling foam. A wide variety of subjects contained in your channel are both educational and entertaining. As I'm on the wrong coast and will most likely never be able to play on your field, I'm sending you a plethora of darts for use and enjoyment for all that are able to run around your games. This way, even if I can't participate, I can contribute. That is awesome of you. The darts came into my possession because of a Nerf thrifting trip inspired by your many good trips to Goodwill. Yeah, I get that a lot. I was able to come away with 1.5 cases of pristine half and full length bamboo darts for what I can only be described as the bargain of the century. I know these will be put to good use in your care. I've also thrown in some world-expanding Lego pieces that I hope you're able to use in your Lego room. You, sir, are awesome. Bangarang, Dan Buddha. Well, yes, we have... Oh, neat! The Micro Fighters clone turbo tank. I did not have that one. That is awesome. And the Micro Fighters AAT. I recently built the original AAT over on my Lego channel. Now I get to build the micro one and compare them. Honestly, I think this one is better. Oh, cool! And just one of the general random parts. And there's some parts in here I didn't have. Looks like there's another baby sheep. That's awesome. And just random parts, flowers, bits. Awesome. Yes, this will be incredibly useful. Very, very cool. Eggs, umbrellas, strawberries. Neat. Awesome. And then a box full of Dart Zone Pro Darts. And those of you who just saw my review of the unicorn, it really likes the Pro Darts, and well, now I've got all the Pro Darts in all the land. So full-length Pro Darts as well as half-length Pro Darts. These are the original ones, but there appears to be 4, 8, 16? 16! Am I counting that? No, I'm counting wrong. 12. There are 12 sets. Good Lord. Wait, what's that? What? Oh. Aha. Sir, you're amazing. That is so cool. I was genuine. Yeah, these will definitely be getting used here at the Makerspace in the arena. That is amazing. I hope you do get out here someday. If you ever find yourself in the Seattle area, by all means, let me know. And you're more than welcome to come see what you have facilitated. All right, that is amazing. That is just the coolest stuff. You are all awesome. If you have questions that you'd like answered, put them in the comments of this video. That's where I draw my questions. If you want to send me stuff, you go right ahead. I never say no to free stuff. I rarely say no to free stuff. I have actually started saying no to free stuff because it's like stuff that has nothing to do with Nerf. You're like, why would I review under the bed storage units? I don't have a bed in my makerspace. I do have a bed though. Anyway, thank you for watching.